go. Yo ho ho! What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you another One Punch discussion. Today we will be talking about Orochi and chapter 127. Before we begin, remember to like and subscribe to the video to ensure that the algorithm knows that you'd like to see more of the discussions or more of the channel in general. If you'd like to support the channel, check out our Patreon. We have a bunch of different tiers that you can support. Single dollar, $5, $10, $20, and get a bunch of different perks, including the uncut access to the One Punch Man podcast and other special treats. But let's hop into it. So, the purpose of this video is to discuss the eventuality of power for Orochi. Now, there's some basic things that we've hit on throughout videos this week and in a podcast, and I'd like to elaborate upon them finally to see the true perspective of like where Orochi should be heading towards in consequence of this. So, we know that his pinnacle of strength is above Dragon, something that we see is a category of like most of the strongest monsters that we've seen, the dragons, but he's a little bit far above that. When I say a little bit far, it's like the gap between the strongest regular dragon in Orochi is a lot smaller than the gap between Boros and Orochi. And Boros being the strongest thing that we've seen, and he's still not a god threat himself. He's technically a dragon. Boros himself is technically a dragon, as well as Orochi. But there's a difference between their level and the level between Orochi and the closest dragon, which is Phoenix Man, Rover, whoever you want to choose to put there. So, with that being the case, we'll want to measure if Orochi in this current state is back at that level, and if alone by absorbing this blood, if he's able to reach past that level because he's gaining more, technically he's gaining more power, or if with the fusion with Garou, he can get past that level. So we're gonna call that pinnacle where Orochi was A. We'll call that point A or value A, and the value that we're trying to measure to see where he's gonna get is value B. Start with the fusion evaluation. So he's been absorbing all this blood, and this is what he's saying that he needs to recover by absorbing blood. It's almost parasitic how he's going about it. He has this tongue-like texture, slimy material that's spreading and eluding throughout the majority of the association as far as what we're seeing so far, from the bottom of the cavern where he fought and upwards along the railways and along like the walls that have been like exploded and removed through different forms of combat. So what's first interesting is that he's that big, like he's able to spread out that much. Now, we saw Orochi when he was first sitting in the chair. He was this huge pinnacle, and we saw him standing up. We also saw him before when he was talking to Garou in this like white panel with her towards her back, and Orochi standing right there. They were relative in size. So he's grown significantly since that one point. Does this mean that he's just growing or that he has the ability to extend himself indefinitely? I would say it's more so the latter. He has the ability to extend himself unnaturally. We saw him go from like the disgusting dragonoid form that was in front of Garou, 2 legs, just hunched forward, looked like a dinosaur with a huge mouth, to the form that was just endless dragon heads that were just climbing onto the walls to bring him up to Saitama to face him with flame, his cape all flamed up, to his humanoid form, where he suited up, which is a lot more compact, and a lot of the dragons aren't anywhere else. I can't say that he has, like, he's just more dense. It looks like he has less mass. So let's say indefinitely that Orochi has the ability to like increase the amount of material that he has. That would explain why he's spreading out so far and why this goo is being able to like capture everything in its wake. I don't think it's going to be anything catastrophic. For example, I don't think that goo that's coming after King is going to like defeat King or beat King or actually even get to them. I think they'll get away in time because it doesn't seem to be as like aggressive. But once it gets on you, it does seem like it's hard to get off. Those few monsters that we saw, the female like monster, furry monster, whatever that we saw as well, she also had trouble getting out. So that shows us, or gives us a little bit of an example as to how difficult it is to get away from that goo. With that being said, is that goo like taking their powers too? Or is it just their blood? Is it just their vitality? That's the question I want to ask, because if it is taking more than just their vitality, then it's an interesting point that we can hop onto in a different video. See the parasitic effects of Orochi spreading throughout the association, because he is going upward. Like, he is going upward. So it'd be interesting to see if, like, who else he threatens. And, like, by taking blood, if he's going to grow indefinitely stronger, is that going to be the case? Like, the more that he eats, will he reach past value A? Is value B going to be, like, higher than value A just because he's absorbing blood? That's one of the questions that we should look at it. Now let's entertain the fusion aspect, as we said. We're saying fusion because we're hoping that Garou isn't going to be the losing side of this exchange. Now, the context that we have so far and why I'm proposing it like this is because we're not too sure if Orochi's actually nefarious with his intent right now. Whether he's being indiscriminate with who he's going to absorb to like bring himself back to like capacity, back to the point that he was at. If he does cooperate with her, then I'm thinking it's going to be like the meat puppet thing. A few chapters ago, I think it was 124, 125, we saw the different puppets that Garou has stored underneath the lair of the Monster Association. In that big room that's surrounded by the stairs that King and Toddy are currently walking up of, there were these 3 beakers with 3 different bodies. Much, much larger than the regular Garou puppet that she was using. So, it's not crazy to think that she would be able to control something that's that tall and that large efficiently. As it seems like that's what she's capable of doing. She mentioned fixing those suits up or like making them battle ready. So she's capable of doing that. So to see her utilize Orochi, let's say for example, like have him like surround her like a puppet like that, that'd be pretty cool to see, pretty badass to see. Now she was making it seem more as if like the vitality that he has, she was gonna like take his energy or whatever and like use it to like, you know, beat her like that. But that seems like it's not gonna be the case. Orochi's too prominent a character to return and not be the main obstacle in the fight. 100% it seems like Garou is going to be pushed to the side here, or at least utilized to the main benefit of Orochi. That's the best way to put it. So this is the second option. Orochi's going to take her blood and like just suck her in. And this will be the defeat of Garou at the hands of Orochi. She's put on a really good display. We've seen a lot of her powers and diversity. And it's not unheard of to see dragons die with having this much of a display. Bakuzan showed about as much as this. Garuga showed way less than Garou. Vaccine Man showed way less than Garou. We've seen plenty of monsters be defeated with much less of a battle display than this. Deep Sea King is an example that actually I would correlate towards being similar to Garou, who in a certain amount of chapters in this own arc, he had a display of like different fights and had a chance to display his different abilities against different opponents. Garou hasn't had the same exact opportunities, but they've been different, and I think to a more beneficial extent. Not only has she been like manipulating, controlling things, we've seen her do that, but she's had her fights and her debacles, and we've seen her abilities distributed throughout the association, outside, her spies with the little like flying monsters that she has. She's shown a diverse amount of abilities, so I think the display is fine, and I don't think it'd be too crazy to say that like Garou or Psychos might die at the hands of Orochi right now. If that is the case, we can still entertain the second option. The second option is that Orochi's going to be taking control of her. Now, whether he keeps her alive at the core of himself after he absorbs her, whether he's just going to suck like her blood out, like throw her down and then she still survives somehow, looking like disgustingly and old and like not as attractive right now. I don't know how it'll be, but I know that Orochi's going to take advantage of the situation. When he does, it's going to be a huge power amplification. The reason why that matters is because we're trying to define B, if you remember. B is the strength value of Orochi in contrast to A, the strength value of Orochi when he fought Saitama, that pinnacle when he was in his humanoid form. With the addition of Garou and this state of Orochi, maybe we should talk about that next. The current state of Orochi. As we said before, he's all gooed up. His dragon's heads are coming out of everywhere, and he's trying to gain more blood so he can like form up. But he still managed to blast Tatsumaki twice. The first time was catastrophic. We actually saw a big-ass boom explosion from the top view looking downward. And it was pretty badass. It showed the destructiveness of Orochi at that point. And he also managed to sneak up on Tatsumaki, showing that the attack release is at least very, very quick, or as quick as it has always been, or that she just didn't sense it. Either way, it's still showing the speed of the attack, even if she didn't sense it. So, Orochi's attack capabilities, his potency on the small end, and his speed seems to be there in terms of like his ability to release attacks. His physical movement speed was crazily impressive. I don't know if people have reread the fight, but reread the fight. He not only stopped or caught Saitama twice, then after Saitama broke through the second time and like bust through all the dragon hands and heads and were trying to water stream and catch him, Saitama came after him like this, like a Superman like stride punch, and Orochi jumped straight up, and he was like face distance. The distance the camera is, To myself, it's approximately about the distance that he was, because he used his tentacle, the dragon heads on his, the dragon tentacles on his head to catch Saitama. So it can't be extremely far away. Sure, a few feet, maybe a few yards, but it's not crazily far away. He caught him, and after he broke free, he jumped back up. So Orochi's physical movement capabilities are also very, 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 very high. The punch he did to Garou, once he like snapped his hand back, suited it up, got it all tight and shit, made it, humanoid fist, smashed him. Garou blocked it before he used second amount force or a second effort, and then sent Garou. Pretty fucking powerful. There's not many guys that are gonna match that physically, besides maybe like Brave Giant and his like 100% boost giant fist strike. Maybe Dark's trying in a full power punch or some shit like that. I don't know. Maybe Garou currently right now. We don't know about the Bazooka right now. Bang Bomb. These are huge physical combat attacks, physical trauma attacks. Very, very big potency. So, if we're defining these different capabilities that Orochi has or doesn't have, the movement speed is really the only thing that we're like lacking. Maybe like health, durability is going to be a different factor because he's all glued up. So that'll be low too. So in terms of value, I could say that Orochi is still a dragon, but he's not as capable as he was before. That's why he's trying to get blood. We can agree upon that. But the fact that he can produce this much while still being in his form is really like, it's threatening, bro. It's threatening. It makes me want to have this video talk about how strong Orochi is currently and how strong he will be with the addition of Girou's power or Girou herself. So, addressing these points, Orochi taking Garou, or Orochi uniting with Garou, or Orochi fusing with Garou. Is he going to be stronger than what he was before? Is there a point to be stronger than what he was before? If he's stronger than what he was before, will he be able to beat Tatsumaki? Value A, or how Orochi was before. Could that individual beat Tatsumaki? These are questions that are going to be addressed in the rest of this fight. Go to the comment section, come into the Discord, and talk to me about these. And let me know what your opinion is, because it helps me formulate and open up my thought process to see what's really going on here. I can trash ideas. In the meantime, like the video, subscribe. I'll see you boys in Discord. Yo ho ho!